We kind of make a different thing than most bands make. And in fact, I think that's because we kind of look at creativity and the music industry in a different way than people generally do. The music industry has, of course, existed, the recording industry, that is, for 80 years or so. And music itself, of course, exists for millennia now. And in those 80 years, we've sort of come to believe that the recording of a song is the song, and then that's the art, that's the piece of value, and everything else is either background work or promotional work or some kind of ancillary material. So your live shows are just promotional. The songwriting itself is sort of like the muscle work you have to do to get there. Videos, advertisements, and from the perspective of people who make things for a living, that's sort of an arbitrary and kind of difficult system to fit into, because you have to want to make recordings more than you want to make anything else. We love recordings, but we also love making our videos. We also love playing shows. We also love writing the songs. Everything around it is sort of a ball of creative ideas that we can chase. And the idea that those aren't endpoints, but rather are just promotional, doesn't really fit with what we do. So we didn't fit well into the major label system that needs us to focus all value on one thing. Collaboration in our band within our fan base it's kind of the lifeblood of the project. I grew up in Washington, D.C., listening to the punk rock of the late 80s and early 90s, so it was all Discord and Simple Machines and Fugazi and Tsunami and Shudder to Think. And after these shows, I could walk up to those people and be part of the musical community. And the idea that it was all that it was a we, it wasn't me on stage, but it was like this was our world. When digital distribution of everything, and I don't mean just of music or of videos, but sort of when digital connectivity stopped being something that was in this other space, when it stopped being something you did just at college or something you did just for your job, but became a social space that we all live in and sort of an addendum to physical space, suddenly that type of community opened back up for us again. And so as a band, we stopped having to go through this system where it's like, we make this thing, we hand it to a distributor, and hopefully you like it and connect with us emotionally somehow. Now we can actually make things collaboratively with our fans. We can actually make things that our fans then sort of take and run with in a different direction. There are kind of two ways of making things. There's the God method, where it's like, I know what I want and I'm going to make it, and now here it is. Or there's the evolution method, where it's like, you don't know what you want, but hopefully whatever comes out of this incredible system is better than any of us could have imagined. And music writing can be done both ways, and we have done both. There's lots of songs we've written where it's like, what we need is a stadium rock anthem. And so you think of the endpoint, you get to the endpoint one way or another. Or you can go, I don't really know what I want, but I'm going to play around with sounds until something amazing jumps out of it. And then you chase that, and what you get is something wildly different than you would have thought, and usually a lot better than you could have imagined. And so that's sort of how we now work with our fan base, is like, we don't know what they're going to do. They don't really know what we're going to do, and it's sort of more a system that we all just throw stuff into, and hopefully at the end of the day, our video is an interesting kernel, but like the videos that they make back and the hundreds and hundreds of remakes of our videos collectively become a much more interesting project than just like that clip you see on MTV.